Perhaps just to contextualize your court action in your appeal to the NPA, what exactly are you accusing the Indian Prime Minister of?
Well, Kashmir, as everybody aware of it, is a territory which is in dispute since 1947. And we are from the South African Kashmiri Action Group, along with the Muslim Lawyer Association. We have laid the complaint to the National Prosecuting Authority and to the relevant departments for the war crime committed under his jurisdiction as a Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi. So when he will be coming to South Africa, we would like our government to actually investigate and prosecute him in South Africa.
Which part of the law are you invoking here?
Well, I mean, under the South African law, plus onto the top of it, our the obligation under the obligation of the international statutes, like your Roman statute, of course, Nuremberg trial, Nuremberg, the chapter number 6, and of course the Geneva Convention. Under that international customary law, South Africa is obliged through the Constitution, Section 234 and 231, that to apply that law and use that law to arrest him.
And obviously, you know, there is some kind of precedence that has been set with a case such as this, although they might not be entirely the same. And we recall the Omar al-Bashir matter with the ICC and him not being arrested attending an AU summit here. Given that that is part of the history, that a recent history that we can rely on in the country, how confident are you that the NPA will take action?
Well, I mean, our one hope we have in South Africa is our judiciary is very independent, and it has never disappointed South African, nor does the international community. So we are very confident. And of course, the South African government have the final ruling on the matter. They can provide the immunity under the diplomatic law, not to arrest him. But of course, that has to be taken again into the court, to the constitutional court, if South African government not going to be not going to use their authorities to arrest him. So of course, you know, the next step will be taking them to the constitutional court as well.
And of course, that would be one of the more obvious things that you would be looking at in terms of how government may respond to this matter. And that being the case, moving forward, are you at all going to be engaging with our Department of International Relations and the Office of the Presidency, or are you simply hoping to have your voice heard through the courts?
Well, we've been trying for the last 20 years, and of course the things has changed. The new political dispensation under the presidency of Cyril Ramaphosa definitely is not that much aligned to what we used to have, very much of like a Gupta influence in the ANC government. Now the things has changed, and we are hoping that the new government and new political dispensation led by the ANC-led government will listen to the plight of the people. And of course, we must be reminded that we're coming from the past of a very much of a apartheid driven South Africa, and people around the world have supported the liberation of South Africa, and we are asking the same thing, that when it was not good for you, it is not good for them as well. So the international law allows South Africa to enforce that jurisdiction, while the visiting Prime Minister is being seen as a war criminal, and the war crime has been committed under his jurisdiction. So Kashmiri issue has been going on for 71 years, and then more than 700,000 Indian armed forces are stationed, and there is no law and order, and there is no freedom of expression, there is no freedom of, I would say, movement. And I think it is the time that the Kashmir issue needs to be brought forward, not only to the South African government, but to the international community.
And of course, one of the things that would also influence South Africa's position on this matter would be looking at what its other counterparts within the BRICS bloc, how they would respond to that. And have you at all been trying to lobby the other countries that are part of BRICS to take strong action, or even to voice their opposition to what is happening in India?
Well, of course, if you know, within the BRICS, yes, there has been case open in Brazil. There has been cases around the world, but within the BRICS, you know, with the China, that, you know, there is no respect for the human right, and of course the Russia, you know, that's another difficult country. But South Africa has been the champion of the human right. We're hoping that that will be the starting point within the BRICS. That is to be seen, that South Africa will take a lead, and the BRICS country will put up a pressure, a political and economic pressure on India to get them to understand that the human rights issues need to be respected.
Do you think that it's a risk that the country will take, given that often they are seen as the back foot or being at the last bottom end of that group?
Well, I'm optimistic because I think things has changed. South Africa is not very much known. They take a U-turn after the 1994, like case of Dalai Lama. They never allowed the visa, but things has changed, and I hope that our new president, Salman Khan, who is a unionist and also the human rights activist, he will be listening to this clip and maybe will thinking that yes, Mr. Modi is welcome to come to South Africa for economic gain, but at the same time, it shouldn't be at the cost of the human rights in Kashmir.
All right.